Awesome. All right. So we have with us today Rick Romero from Van Wagner, who is currently in operations at University of Texas, El Paso. How are you doing today, Rick?
I'm spectacular. How you doing, Amy?
I'm doing well. I want to kind of find out what exactly is Van Wagner.
Ben Wagner, great question. In this world of college athletics, and good morning, Cody. How are you doing? Um, in
Good.
this
How are
world,
you?
very good. In this world of college athletics, we have companies that represent the athletic departments in everything, from corporate sponsorships to corporate relations to everything that has to do with their multimedia rights, which is basically um, if you're looking at a uniform or anything a university has. So I'm wearing Columbia today. So rights and logo, anything that has to do with the rights and logo, Van Wagner and companies like us. There's a Learfield IMG that's now just Learfield. That's probably the biggest horse in the industry. And then you have a couple smaller companies, which is Van Wagner and Playfly and a couple other companies.
Mhm.
But we represent the universities.
Okay.
And
So what was your career path that got you to Van Wagner? Were you just
yeah,
always interested in sports?
yes. So I was a college athlete, broke, um, and then I was in grad school. Um, this opportunity was put in front of me, and the opportunity was, hey, you know what? You got the gift of gab. Do you want to try to sell some sponsorships? It's like, yeah, absolutely. Let's try this. Absolutely loved it. But back in the day, it was not lucrative. 80 hours a week, um, very, very small money. And so I left it and then I came back to it 10 years ago. Um, but
What
it is,
changed?
um, I retired from being a vice president of a Yellow Page company.
Mhm.
And I did that for 20 plus years. And I figured out that retirement is not, I was too young for retirement. So,
So
but
what
after
changed
all
in the college industry to make it more lucrative than it was before? Growing up?
that too, once it went to a multimedia rights company, once it went to a third party company, it became a world of difference. The third party companies, the Learfields, the IMGs, the Playflies of the world, now made it financially feasible so that you can make some money. You can actually support a family. You can actually do really, really well in this industry, and and it'd be a career. I think it was more of a job when I first came out of college
Mhm.
and grad school, and now it's a career. There's definitely a career path where you see people going from a multimedia rights holder company to back into the universities, back into private industry, or moving from one multimedia rights company like I did from Learfield to Van Wagner.
And the position that you currently hold with UTEP, did you take a path where you were at smaller schools, larger schools? What made you settle on what made you choose rather UTEP as the place that you wanted to be, or did the company choose it for you?
No, so but that's kind of a yes and no, right? I was a general manager at the university, and so if you think about it, it is I basically run the company for Van Wagner at the University of Texas El Paso. Before this, I was at the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque, and we were right. I was with them for 2 years, and in our third year, we were getting ready to. The contract was up with the University of New Mexico,
Mhm.
and it was getting ready to be positioned out to the market,
Mhm.
and the market and it becomes a bidding rights at that point in time. Who has either the most money or who has the best package to give you that'll make you the most money over a multi-year deal. For a multimedia rights holder, it is plus 10 years. Our deals are majority of them 10, 15, 20 years long. Um, and the reason why we do that is because we can take a loss majority of times, and we look towards making it up at the end of the contract.
So when you talk about media rights and media sales and corporate sponsorships, what are those exactly? So we're dealing right now with undergraduate students at Bethel University in Tennessee, and they are studying sports marketing, sports sales, sales platforms. So what are media rights in your world? What in the practical world of media sales and corporate sponsorships, what is that exactly? For them to read about it and then for them to hear about it are two totally separate things.
Absolutely, absolutely. We get people that are coming out of the marketing world in from college and really don't understand the difference. Marketing is one really specific area that you're marketing in-game assets. You're marketing the whole event. Corporate sponsorships is, you thinking about it, it's digital. It is corporate relations. It is signage. It is radio, TV, uh, um, development and relationship building. If you think about every facet of how you get information out, we're basically dealing with it. From the static image to the animated image in game to the guy making a 55-foot putt on the basketball court. It runs the gamut. So there's parts of it where you have to be, your interpersonal skills have to be great. Well, the way I see it is that we have basically three clients that we deal with. Internally, we deal with our company. Externally, we deal with the university, and then we also deal with our clients. So at any given time, I'm making sure that Amy's really happy, Cody's really happy, Rick's really happy, and then the university's really happy. So you're dealing with a lot of things that go on with this. And I mean, Cody, what's the mode of interaction that you use to get all your information right now?
Um, as far as like networking, kind
Yeah.
of.
Or no, just like general information, like you're watching the 64. You're watching hoops this weekend. Where are you going to get your information from?
Either like news sources or articles,
For reals? You're not like watching social media?
or like yeah, or like Instagram, Twitter,
That's
stuff like
Yeah,
exactly
that.
it.
Okay.
yeah,
So,
totally.
so Cody, how old, what year are you in college?
I'm a sophomore.
Okay. So you're a sophomore. So when we're dealing with like all of our clients, we think about, okay, how is Cody going to like Pepsi? And Pepsi has a new product that we're going to launch. And how do we get some of that information out to your demographic? As well as, okay, you know what? There might be a split up on the demographic that is plus 25 to 35. How do we manage that either in game, digitally, socially, or in venue? How do we manage that message? So when we sit with the client, we're thinking about every aspect of everything in our portfolio assets.
So how does your job differ or how does it complement the job of Michael Levy, the development officer, the vice president development for the minor athletic club? Do you work in conjunction or do you have two totally different jobs?
Two totally different jobs at the end of the day. There are times and places where you start to see the jobs blend,
Mm-hmm.
and where I think when you start talking about any university, any college, you have there's a finite amount of people that you can talk to that are either corporate leaders, business leaders, or just influential people within the community, whether it be politically or socially. So we in college athletics, you tend to see those lines blend significantly. So with Mikey coming on and doing his job, working with donors and that group, and you're very familiar with this part of it, Amy. When you're dealing with that group, different kind of a conversation than what I'm dealing with is, let me develop an ROI for you. Let me develop a relationship with you. Let me make sure that people are seeing your relationship with us. Where on the donor side, it is a lot of times it's anonymous. It is, hey, I just want to give some money back to the athletic department. I want to build a trust for the future, and you're developing that kind of a conversation. So I think they're completely cool and unique
Hmm.
and similar and different.
So in your tenure at UTEP, or even in your tenure at New Mexico, what is one of the clients that you have brought on that was not currently a client when you first started? Do you have one of
But
those?
oh yeah, we had every school in the country is looking for that one big hitter. You know, you're
Mhm.
looking for someone that someone can affect change within the university. And you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're lucky enough to have a small casino in El Paso. Um, what we weren't able to do, what so at New Mexico, I developed a super strong relationship with 3 casinos in that market. And that helped me develop a language that is specific to casinos.
Mhm.
I'm currently working on a couple deals in California now for Van Wagner with casinos. Once you're able to, and the casino industry is a very specific
It's a
kind of a
niche market.
client.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
niche.
it's very, very unique. So, in a lot of cases, they really do not care about an ROI, where you see most companies looking at, hey, what's the return on this investment? If I'm going to spend 30, I expect to get 4 times X, right? Um, these guys are looking to say, hey, we want to be in. This is every casino I've dealt with wants the community to know that thank you for investing with us. We're going to give something back to the
Mhm.
university. Um, and so we've developed a relationship at every place I've been where the casinos have been significant ball players. And we're talking in excess of, throughout the life of their contract, millions of dollars. Um, so um, before I got here, no one at the University of Texas El Paso had developed a relationship with the casino.
Mhm.
And so I was able to develop that relationship, grow it to where it is right now. Um, a mixed 6-figure client. At New Mexico, we had 3 of those in excess of $1 million.
Okay.
So if you're able to develop, if you're able to develop a skill set within a segment of a business population, um, you can be super successful, and that can lead to jobs outside of what we do. You know, I know that in your experience, Amy, you were getting job offers from all your people
Mhm.
on the consistent basis, and the same is true for us. Once you develop a
That's
strong
right.
relationship.
Once you get one, it just takes one.
That's it.
Well, most people don't realize how El Paso is situated. They think in their head, one horse town, dusty. They don't realize that we swell to 2 million people on any given day, and that's people coming across the border to work, but
Yep,
also from the metro area coming in from Las Cruces and from points west of, or east of El
100%.
Paso. So most people don't realize our actual size, and we actually have 2 casinos in the area. In
Mhm.
El Paso, we have Speaking Rock, the Tiguas. Then we
Yes.
also have Sunland Park, which is you take one step across the border from the railroad tracks and you're in New Mexico, and there's Sunland Park Casino and racetrack. So are
Right.
you able to establish a relationship with them, or because they're in a different state, you cannot access them?
No, the unique thing about dealing with what we do is we can cross state line. So
Okay.
we're not hindered from that standpoint. Um, we tried to sell the Sunland Park deal. Uh,
That's a hard group of people. That's a hard nut to crack. I've
they're a good. Things have changed over the recent years.
Has ownership changed?
The ownership changed, the dynamics have changed. The person who was in charge is no longer there.
Oh, okay. That's
Where
helpful.
uniquely they only gave, excuse me, 100% of their money back to New Mexico State.
Hmm.
Um, Now we're able to bring over, if we wanted to, um, we could bring them on board, and they've asked to. But our current deal with Speaking Rock and the Tiguas is so strong. They have an exclusive right to the whole relationship. So,
So
uh,
what does Speaking Rock sponsor? They are a corporate sponsor, as it were, even though they're a casino. They're called a corporate sponsor. What are they sponsoring at UTEP? Not
so the,
academics, correct? We're on the sports side only, correct?
on the sports side only, correct.
Mhm.
It is
And
sports specific only. Um, you know, there is a chance that you could cross over into the academic side.
mhm,
Um, they're not there yet, but there is, at the University of New Mexico, there is, the relationship was so good that they started developing some casino management classes at the
mhm.
university.
Makes
So
sense.
that makes a lot of sense since there's 4 casinos surrounding the city. Um, it's $1 billion industry, and we know that they have to give some money back, and they want to give money back. So what we try to do is I sit with them 4 times a year, and we figure out the marketing program and how to shift, change, and tweak. And that is pretty much something we do with almost every client. And once we develop a sponsorship program, we meet with them at the end of football season, see how we can tweak next year's football
Mhm.
contract, and then also go into basketball. How do we tweak basketball's going? Even though we've got a wireframe of what we wanted to do.
So if I walked into the Sun Bowl, the football stadium, or if I walked into the Don Haskins Center, where would I see Speaking Rock's name?
Beautiful question. Speaking Rock now owns a gate entrance. You'll hear them. You'll see them on our LED boards. We
Mhm,
have 5 LED boards in that stadium, in the Sun Bowl Stadium.
mhm.
Um, so you have a 30-foot by 7 foot, two of those TV visible. We have 3 by 78 footers, or two of those, and then one on the south side, north and south side. You'll also see them on our video board at the south end zone.
Mhm.
They own the whole southwest gate. So anyone that comes in from the parking lots on the southwest side, they come through that area. We had them brand, half of the tunnel,
Mhm.
at Speaking Rock or at Sun Bowl. Um, where else do
Which
we
is
see them?
is it visible from the field?
That is visible from the
Visible
field.
from, okay. I mean, it's a shorter
Um,
tunnel, but
it's a small tunnel. It's a
yeah, it's a
small tunnel,
small
a small
tunnel.
parking lot. But
Yeah.
the people that park in, so like Cody, when you're thinking about speaking to people, and you're starting to set up like a sponsorship program, you really want to think about, okay, I'm talking to Amy, and what does Amy really want to do? How does she want to expose herself to the most amount of people? So what we were able to do is we were able to identify the parking lot and the high end revenue people that were parking in that area.
Mhm.
So when we identified them, Speaking Rock, hey, this is a good idea. Can you expose your brand to these people, and how often can we do that? And so understanding asking really good questions to them, trying to build a big picture for them, made a huge difference.
And
And
in the Don Haskins Center, did you do
Don
the same
Haskins
thing?
Center, Don Haskins Center, same thing. Again, understanding what the dynamic is of both of those facilities. Sun Bowl's a multi-purpose facility.
Mhm.
Um, Don Haskins Center is the basketball arena, Cody. And that basketball arena is a multi-purpose facility where we have concerts, we have career fairs, we have high school, college graduations, community college graduations, tech graduations. So again, it's the idea of, what do you want to do, and how do I expose it to the most amount of people? And so what we're able to do is we're able to facilitate, uh, the um, the visibility, not just on the concourse or in-game stuff like athletics majority does. We're able to have them be on the video board. So in graduations, example, cameras are looking at the people graduating, and up on the video board, you have panels 4-sided that now you can see the Speaking Rock logo along with Pepsi, Bud Light, and Allstate. So super strong. Like, and then that leads me to a second point is that how do I put that Speaking Rock brand next to a world-class brand? World-class being Bud Light, Pepsi, Allstate. Now I raise their level of strength if I can put that brand next to some of these powerful brands, some world-class brands. So
And so,
some of
so
the,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say Allstate. Allstate, traditionally has done the netting behind. You see it netting at college games
Yeah.
behind the goalposts. What are they doing for UTEP? Because we did not have when I left. We did not have the netting behind the goalpost. It wasn't something that we could build by the way our stadium was structured. So, what are they doing for what is their signage like at
Still
the?
nothing.
Oh
Still
no.
nothing. We still haven't
Figure that one out.
I have, but whether or not the university will want to do it the way it's Amy, Cody, when you get to our levels, you have to deal with you're dealing with
Personalities.
I right. So Cody, there's three of us on this, and I have to deal, and I've got to deal with events, which is the group that manages the Sun Bowl facility. I got to deal with UTEP, the university that manages this. And then I've got to deal with athletics, who manages their portion of it. So I've got to make sure all three people are okay with the idea that I have to put in nets that I'll pay for and to put up a brand that is world class and that's in pretty much every facility, every football stadium in the country. But everyone has their idea of what that should look like. So athletics wants it to be a world class netting, and we want you to spend $400,000 on the netting. Rick doesn't want to spend $400,000 on the netting. Rick wants to spend $50,000 on it. And the university comes in and does their diagnostic and and they run their test, and they're like, okay, well, 60,000 is great. We think we can get it for 20,000 if we bring it in house. Okay, you can't do that. I mean, there's no physically possible, but okay, you want to do that. When will it get done? 2 years. So you want to get it
We're
done.
still waiting.
Yeah, right. We don't have 2 years. So you want to get it done in 2 years, but we have 6-month window. Well, they can't do it because they're a university entity and they can't handle that kind of movement. Swing all the way back to corporate America. Corporate America is like, yes, absolutely, we'll do this for you. We'll get it done in 5 months, Rick. It's just going to cost you $80,000. Okay, go back to the university, go back to the athletic department, events. No, because event says no, because we have monster truck shows, and what are we going to do with those goalposts if we have monster truck shows? And I throw my hands up in the air and I pull my hair out, and it's, hey Cody, this is the reason why you get gray young, brother. I'm just telling you, it's
Right.
I used to, when I started, when I retired, it was black, bro. I'm just telling you, it was black.
So let's see if Cody has I have a couple of more questions, but I do want to give Cody the opportunity to ask any questions that may be bubbling up in his mind. Do you have anything, Cody?
No, ma'am. I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Hey Cody, I got questions for Cody. Is that okay, Amy?
Yeah.
Cody, so you athlete?
Yes, sir.
What sport?
Basketball and track.
Okay. Track. What was your sport? What was your event?
400.
Solid, dude. I'm liking you more, big dog. Me too.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Hoops. What position? You're a power forward, swing.
Uh, really like a guard, any guard, one of the two.
How
Okay.
tall are you? Six,
Like six
six,
one.
6'1". Okay.
6'4", big man. 6'4". So small. Too small to be a a power forward, which I'm built for.
Yeah, I'm like six
Too
foot
big to be
one.
a guard.
Yeah, I wish I was a guard. Didn't have the handles. So what, Cody? Where are you? What school are you at now?
Bethel University.
Nice, nice. Are you an athlete there? Or are you a
Yes,
student?
sir.
What?
Yeah,
Both. He's a
yeah,
student athlete.
yes,
Student
sir.
athlete, solid. Um, and you're a sophomore. So have you started to? What I want you to do in the next year is start to. Your season's over with now, but I want. What do you like to do? What do you want to do when you graduate?
Really want to get into like the recruiting side of things as
Like
of right
on
now.
the college side, on basketball, or
I don't know yet between either like basketball or football. I really like both, and yeah, I want to start definitely in college or university for sure.
smart man. Okay. The athletic director at the University of Texas, great friend of mine. We grew up. We ran track together in high school. We
Mhm.
competed against each other in college, and he started in a very similar way. He became an intern and basically just started working for free. Trying to figure out what it looks like to be with a recruiter or a coach or an administrator. Um, there is no pressure on you now, but now's the time where you can take some time to go in and take a look at people, and people will be happy to let you, like today. I'd be happy if you were in El Paso, you come down and you can basically do a ride along, for lack of a better term, and
Okay.
see what we do, see if that's something that you like.
Mhm.
Take advantage of that at Bethel and see, hey, coach, I want to go into a recruiting situation. Tell me what you guys do. What's the tech that you guys use? How many hours are you guys looking at? And then who's recruiting around the country? Start to do those kind of things and really get an idea of how many hours that we're putting in. Um, and do you really want to put in those hours?
Mhm.
Amy will attest to this. I mean, whether you're a teacher, a professor, um, there isn't a time clock, and I tell my staff, I know we work from 8 to 5, but I'm in the office. My corporate office is in New York City. So those guys don't give a care that, I'm in mountain
Mountain
time
time.
and I'm 2 hours ahead. So that I get phone calls from them at their 9 o'clock, which is my 7 o'clock, and I'm starting to work. And then I like to now bother them during their 7 o'clock PM time because it's only my 5 o'clock.
Mhm.
So, but you start to understand that, when you get successful, there's a lot of demands on your time. You see it in basketball or you see it in athletics. Know this that we as recruiters, we as business people, are looking for athletes that can carry themselves in front of people and communicate intelligently. And it's something I tell my athletes. I communicate this with my athletes. Um, Everyone's looking for NIL information. They're trying, and they're beating down my door for NIL information. Um, so if you and your boys are sitting around talking, which you're probably going to be, um, my suggestion to all these people is figure out and learn how to communicate. Learn how to communicate in more than a 1 or 2 word response. Yeah, nah, mm-hmm, no. That's not a good way to communicate from a corporate standpoint. And you're thinking about your brand is 24/7 now. Um, and what I tell my guys is, look, your brand is 24/7. You need to make sure that everyone is seeing your brand. And your brand is like a Pepsi brand, a McDonald's brand, a Budweiser brand, an Allstate brand, State Farm. One of my most challenging clients is State Farm, and is because they know exactly how much their brand is worth. And they work me down to literally the last cent on did I, how was my proof of performance? Did I deliver on what I say I was going to deliver on? So that part of it, like you're going through with basketball and your coach is asking you to deliver on the court, companies are asking you to deliver on the court, in the boardroom, in the office, on Zoom, 365. So be ready to, if you want your brand to be what you think it's going to be, if you want to be a recruiter, dude, be a recruiter. Have you read the book on the Miami Heat coach?
No, sir.
Do you know his story?
Which one are we talking about? We're not talking about Pat Riley, are we?
No, we're talking
After
about
Pat Riley, okay.
the
You can
current
see when I stopped watching the Heat.
the current coach. Literally, the current coach was a film guy.
Oh,
Started
wow.
out in the film room, ridiculous hours. You know how much time you put on film. You watch film. He was a film guy, and now he is the wingest coach for the Miami Heat.
Oh, wow. Because he
He
knows
is
what to
and he's one of the longest tenured coaches in the NBA right now. And he came out as just a young guy that I wanted to be an NBA coach. I wanted to be something in the NBA, and
started small.
Working for free. And so think about all those things when you start to get into this. Please look at this side of the industry. This side of the industry, we're looking for athletes. We're looking for intelligent, motivated individuals that have been under the gun as an athlete. I mean, for my staff, all three of my staff are ex-athletes. Amy's an ex-athlete.
Yep.
So we're looking at athletes because we know that you've been able to grind, and we know you've been put in some hard situations. So please work on your brand, my friend.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
So we've got about 3 minutes left, and then Zoom knocks us off. One last thing is quickly, if you can sum it up, what do you see as the biggest challenge for your industry moving forward? Is it NIL?
No, actually, NIL NIL is killing. NIL could kill college athletics, specifically football, and could change the demographic of what it looks like. NIL does not affect corporate sponsorships. Uniquely enough, it does affect the donor and the foundation part of it.
Yeah, I can see that. Having worked in that, I can see it. Yeah.
And it's a really unfortunate circumstance because of what the foundation and the and those groups do. NIL is something that I wish I had in college. I think that too many athletes right now don't understand it and aren't educating themselves on it. And there is a foundation of business and opportunity that they're stepping over. I mean, the literal sense, they're stepping over the dollar to get to the dime and trying to look for the quick buck and not figuring out what small business looks like. And I think universities on the other side are not developing the student athletes to understand that this is a small business. And there's a lot of tax ramifications. We're seeing it. We're seeing it right now. So NIL, I think, is needed. I think NIL managed properly can be super effective, and I think that more education, more direction is needed for the athlete and administration. And the NCAA has to, at some point in time, decide: are they going to jump in, or are they just going to let it be the wild, wild west?
Right. All right. Well, we are done for the day. Want to thank you both for joining us. Cody got some extra credit points for today and learned some things, learned about creating his brand. And Rick, I totally appreciate you taking the time to visit with us.
Anytime,
thank you so
Amy.
much.
I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Cody, very nice to meet you, my friend.
Yes,
Good luck on everything. Amy, be safe.